So everybody, there are a lot of good seats. It's like a classroom. There are a lot of good seats right up front, and nobody's going to get graded. So instead of sitting in one of those folding chairs, you can move down here, and besides that, the lights are in anyone's eye, so you can't see anyway. We have a great group coming up. They're a new group, and they're especially new to this stage. They're called the Sharpless Singers. So I'd like to present the Sharpless Singers. Phyllis? A sad announcement, because Parvin and Jean are leaving. You're never going to see the Sharpless Singers again. Why don't you give them one more round of applause? I think they're okay. If you like the Sharpless Singers, you owe your thanks to Adele Dienerstein, and more than that, to Phyllis Goldberg. Phyllis, you've always done it. Yeah, Goldstein, what the hell can I? At least I didn't change your religion. So. There's an unusual thing you should know about the Sharpless Singers. Out of 8 people, 2 are named Jessica and 2 are named Jennifer. And we're going to ask questions at the end, so try to remember that. Marvin, this is corny as hell, but you're the top. So. I was told to say that. I'm pleased to welcome you all this evening. I'm delighted to be here on this occasion because Parvin and Jean and I worked together for 15 years. And it was a delight. The whole thing was a delight. And we worked up until the time that I retired from the board last year. I always said I was going to go out of here with Parvin, but I decided to graduate with my son Michael, so we did it a little differently. There's some people that deserve thanks. There are dozens of people that deserve thanks. But it would be very boring if I read all their names. So there are people that deserve special thanks. The first is Phyllis Goldstein. Next, we have Barbara Himmelrich, who chaired this program. And when Barbara asked me to take this job, she said, I'm going to leave you alone and you can do it any way you want. And she kept her word, so I want to thank her for that. There are a few other people that, there's Allison and Arnie Richmond, who work very closely with Harriet and myself. There's also Louise Maida, Terry Halley, and especially Sherry Bernstein, who made this job very easy. And again, a sad comment, that's the last time she's going to be able to tell me what to do this evening, because she's going to be going to California, so we wish her well. I'd like to share some random thoughts about Parvin and Jean. I have a high regard for their intellect. Everyone does. There's no sense talking about that anymore. The next thing, and this is more important to me, is their personal integrity. It's something that I value highly. I've never known either Parvin or Jean to break their word or do something that could in the least bit be suspect. So I admire their integrity, and they're trusted by everyone who knows them. Take my word on that. You all know that anyway. Something that you may not know, because it doesn't come across readily until you get to know the two of them a little better, is that Parvin and Jean are two of the most optimistic people that I know. In working with Parvin, something came to mind, and I saw an individual earlier who reminded me of this. I remember 11 years ago when I was the treasurer of the school and I was on the executive committee with Parvin, and there was a teacher who wasn't doing well, and Parvin was probably the only person that was optimistic about that teacher's future. Now, that teacher's here today. The teacher's sitting in this audience right this minute, so if I can embarrass that individual, I hope I have. And Parvin supported that person, and I believe that he truly supports all faculty. He's gone way out of his way to get them wage increases and benefit increases over the years to validate their importance to Park School and to the community. Harriet and I treasure not only Parvin and Jean's optimism, but they have a wonderful sense of humor, and they're the most gracious people I know. So we've enjoyed that. In fact, I'll tell you a little story. I collect wine. I've got to laugh. And wine is very complex, but I happen to know that Parvin and Jean hate wine. And Harriet and I had dinner over their house one night. Parvin brings out the bottle of wine, and he says, "Is this what you think goes properly with the dinner?" And the dinner was delicious, the wine was excellent, and Parvin and Jean forced themselves to swallow it. So they seemed none the worse for it. As a board member, I was always struck by Parvin's ability to articulate the school philosophy and constantly remind the board of the school's purpose. And he did it in an interesting and engaging way, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do if you understand Park's philosophy. Park is unwavering in his commitment to progressive education. I know the faculty gets that. I think most of the parents get that, and certainly I get it. Now, I picked up Baltimore Magazine 6 months ago, and I read a quote from Parvin, and I've changed it a little bit because I did it from memory and then went back and changed the magazine. But I just had to change 2 words. It wasn't much. Parvin said, "Learning is something that children do, not something that is done to them." And to the extent that you can dummy down something and say it in a couple of words, that's how you explain Parvin's thoughts on progressive education. He could say it in a half an hour and 45 minutes and explain it. I'm going to say this seriously. In the last 19 years, Park has been transformed from a good school, and it was a good school when I went here. I graduated in 1959. into what the New York Times referred to as an exemplary independent school. In 1984, Parvin accepted the very first Department of Education award for accomplishment as an exemplary independent school from President Reagan. The president gave it to him at the White House, so I don't know whether Parvin would have accepted it or not. In subsequent years, there have been tens upon probably hundreds of awards, if you count the postscript and cross currents and everything else. So a lot of awards have come our way, and this is a school that we can all be proud to have graduated from, because it's better now than it was when we graduated. So you get more respect that way. Over the years, I've observed that most great accomplishments are made by visionaries who single-mindedly, and you could read that as stubbornly, pursue an original idea. Parvin Sharpless is such a visionary, and FACA is such an achievement. FACA, for the one person in the audience who doesn't know, is the acronym for the Faculty and Curricular Advancement Program. This was created by Parvin and is supported by a $2 million endowment. That's real commitment. And that commitment comes from parents and faculty members and the school body at large, grandparents especially, now that I think about it. Grandparents more than especially. Now, Parvin put this thing together. It started as a germ of an idea, and I don't know when it started in his mind. It could have been 20 years ago, because the original notion was that faculty members at Park School were to be treated as professionals in the same way that you would treat a college professor. And the original thought of FACA hasn't been realized yet, and I think that if this capital campaign is a really great success, which I know it will be, that the original thought of FACA was that faculty members who wanted to could work all year round, and the time that they weren't in the classroom, they could be studying, they could be having discourse with each other, and they could be planning curriculum. So that's Parvin's original vision of FACA. What you have now is FACA Light, but it's still great. It's terrific. Nobody else has it except the people that have copied it from us. FACA allows teachers the opportunity to focus for 1 month during the summer on curricular work and research. FACA has generated positive feelings among faculty members. I remember it wasn't that way in the beginning. I remember that pretty well. Some people were dragged screaming into the FACA program. But Parvin's persistence won out. And FACA today is loved by not only faculty members, but by parents and people in the community, and the schools have stolen the idea because it's widely copied all over the country now. Parvin's notion 8 years ago is a notion that's nationwide in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know if you realize this or not, and I don't think students have ever thought about this. Maybe they have. The Park students are pretty darn smart. Every student at the Park School benefits from this program. And we have this program for one reason. Parvin thought of it. We wouldn't have it any other way. A decision by consensus would not have produced FACA, trust me on that. Parvin, I'm proud to announce that in honor of your outstanding contribution, the school will name the FACA program in your honor. If you and Jean could join me and Harriet at the podium, Harriet will read the inscription on the plaque, and for people who don't know, Harriet Legham is my wife, and she's my right hand. So, Harriet, I want to thank you too. And I can pronounce your name correctly. Well, congratulations. You want to read the inscription?
I will read.
Hold it, it's heavy.
F. Parvin Sharpless Faculty and Curricular Advancement Program, in recognition of the profound and lasting contribution made by F. Parvin Sharpless, head of school, 1976 to 1995, to the life of the school, through the establishment of the FACA program as a source of ongoing commitment to faculty, curricular development, and as a means of affirming and supporting teaching excellence. The FACA program best represents Dr. Sharpless's conviction about education and his aspirations for this school. His singular vision for Park will be remembered for years to come through this legacy.
I want to congratulate Harriet because not only does she have great distant vision, but there was a glare on that the whole time she read. Harriet, congratulations. Harriet, can you bring a goodie bag? What do you always do when the kids have a party? You want to bring out a goodie bag? Okay, come on center stage. And you hold the goodie bag and I'll talk about what's in it. Got it? Read it? All right. First of all, as a gesture of the school's appreciation for your 19 years of service, we'd like to present you and Jean. You want to have the envelope, please? It's like a pocketbook. Harriet looks ahead and feels around. Thank you. Now, you can't see it because I have X-ray vision and you don't. But this is a check. And I'd like to Now, because it's in a number 10 envelope, you know that it's a big check. And I'll tell you what you can use it for. Basically, you can use it for whatever you'd like. But for me, I'd take a trip to London or Europe or do something, but use it in any way you like, and that's the school's first gift to you. We have many more coming up. The Alumni Council has made a very fitting gift to the FACA program in your honor, and has made you and Jean Parvin honorary members of the Alumni Council. This is a first. Thank you. Parvin, do you want to come here and read it?
Oh, it says diploma. I won't read it, but it's legal and official.
Thank you. It does say Parvin and Jean Sharp. I think that's the first time a couple's ever been admitted. Now we have another spectacular announcement. The Parents Association has commissioned a sculpture in your honor, which will be placed in the new Math and Science Center. I think you saw a picture of it. And we all look forward to seeing that sculpture because we all look forward to seeing the new Math and Science Center.
Glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, I knew everyone's mind was on that, and I've been told that you can expect it in your lifetime. Now there's another thing that the two of you know about, but I'm going to tell the audience. You've both been honored by a special insert in the postscript, which is 4 pages long, and it used up 3/4 of their yearly budget. So and it deals with your careers, strangely enough, at Park School only. Parvin, Park students have honored you with a special yearbook dedication, and again, I hope you've seen that. I have not, so you're ahead of me. We also have a proclamation from Governor Glendenning. Harry, why don't you present it? Just, you don't have to read it, just... Now, we have something even more impressive than that. And the first time I was told about this, I got confused. Can I have this for just a second? Can everybody see this? It has the United States seal on it. I'm going to hand this to you, Jean, because this is really something special. This is the United States Congressional Achievement Award. And I want you to know that both the governor and the entire United States Congress express their regrets for not being here this evening. We really had room for Newt Gingrich anyway. Now, knowing you two as long as I have, I know, Parvin, you're rearing at the bit, you're ready to respond, but I'm not going to let you do that. we have one final thing for you, and it takes about, I'm not going to tell you how long it takes. Blockbuster, that's terrific. This says Terry Howley on it, so that must mean something to somebody. This is a video. Jean had it figured out, and she'd been telling Parvin that we did it. And Parvin wouldn't believe it. I told you, listen to him. Okay. Okay. Anyway, Terry is a park parent for those who don't know him. And this video is something that I guarantee you will all enjoy. We had to delete part of it to get an R rating. Nancy, I apologize. Now I'll give you the sharpest wheel. Parvin, when you say your remarks,
school now is more on its founding philosophy, probably at any time in the history of the school.
My guess is that he will go down in the history of Park School as one of the great ones.
I really hardly know what to say after all that. It's really wonderful, and I had no idea. I can't understand. I thought I knew what was going on around here. I'm supposed to, and none of that caught my attention. Did you know about that? Well, I'm just amazed at all of that work and kindness and all of the interest in us and what we've done here. It's just amazing. I never thought about anything of that kind. It's very hard to respond because we've had a wonderful time here because this is a great institution, and if there's any doubt about that, just the quality of people and the quality of ideas and concerns that video deals with, I mean, I'm not sure that's all true, but. If you have to be praised, it's wonderful to be praised for things you would like to be praised for if it was true. And that certainly speaks to the things that we care about. Whether we've accomplished them as well as is said there, I'm not sure, but they are things that matter. And the people who speak to them, as I said the other evening, I think the quality of people who care about this school and who work for it, trustees and former trustees and faculty, is so high. And their commitment so deep and their skills and their merits so distinct and important that that's what makes this a wonderful place. You know as well as we, that this is an institution with many, many wonderful people in it. And it's not, leadership is something that draws great strength from the people who are here, who do the work. And that's evident to me in listening to those people and their concern and their understanding. So I can only be grateful to all of them and all of you. No, when I think about the school going on, the most important testimonies of school's virtues are the students who are there, what they accomplish, and the alumni. And the alumni are the people who make it true. I mean, you can talk all you want about theory, and you can talk all you want about playing the clarinet, but you can't, but the alumni are the people who succeed and carry out those ideas and those visions of education about themselves and their purposes and their view of things. And I know we have a powerful and distinguished group of alumni, some of you here and many, many hundreds of others elsewhere, that testify every day to the merit of these ideas and the strength of this institution in making them real. And that's an institutional thing, and I hope you will think about that as more than about the particular things that Jean and I have done. I'm really grateful for the gift, and particularly the video. I'm sure the check will be interesting too. Jean and I have a very good relationship, but some of you may know we have a few little disagreements that we have yet to work out. One is that she is a very adventurous traveler, and I'm not. And so I like to go places where I have been before, and she has the wisdom to point out that you can't do that if you haven't been there before.
I take him kicking and grumbling the whole way the first time. And then about 2 years later, he says, "That was a lot of fun. Can we do that all over again?"
So I think travel plans are, I appreciate the support of that, Jeff, and we'll try to work out some arrangement where we can do this together. I want to just take a minute to point out our family. It's meant a lot to us, Jean and I. You saw those pictures of us way back at George School. I don't know what archive has that photograph in it. We were sitting on the steps trying to figure out ways to elude the administration's surveillance of us. I was anyway.
We were 14 and 16 in that one photograph.
And so we probably will work out the travel problems, but we have always been devoted to each other and to our family. And if you haven't met them, I just wanted to point out to them here, Andy Sharpless and Jeffrey Sharpless and Eileen Flansbaum, his wife. And there's Susanna, who is, wave Susanna. And Violet was the one who was heard from earlier, and she's getting ready to be a student. I can see that by. And Joanna Sharpless here in the front, Andy's daughter. And our daughter Laura Sharpless and her husband Tom Myron, who. And they have contributed to the independent school